Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Tello, back to you with another World of Warcraft video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a couple things that Wowhead has put out, sharing a couple links for you guys, anybody, guys and girls, looking for, the best quest the rewards. I can't speak, I'm always stuttering. A little Hydration Nation, brought to you by the Poland Spring, as usual. Wearing the boxers today, too. A little leg action, little leg action, settle down. I don't want to show you the Spiedel, alright? Lock it in. However, fun story, I got 60 stitches on my knee when I was a kid. I had a Harry Potter globe, and my babysitter, I just dropped it, and she was watching me, and I slipped into it, bro. Like, I was kneeing somebody in the groin type shit, and I slipped into it. My whole leg busted open. That shit was crazy, bro. And that was a little nuts. Side topic, though. A little personal, but your boy got some battle scars. It was probably a horde somewhere who did it, set me up as a child. You son of a bitch, I'm on to you. However, lock it in. We're going over some quest rewards. We're also going over a list of, accessible dungeons you guys are going to be able to go through. We'll share a lot of these links in the description below, and then we're also going over the fact that you can do a couple things from the the pre-patch that's going on right now. Like, you can go get your dual talent specialization, and you could start using those commendations, your PvP tokens, to start leveling the honor up and getting prepared once it dishes out when the patch goes live, so you can get a fuck ton of commendation with honor to get to rank 7 if you've been hoarding up your STV coins trying to get those. And I believe as of today those coins are going away, or if they already are gone, they're probably pretty much already not there anymore. Let me know in the comments below how many coins you guys got, and you're banking all that honor up and doing that thing. And then we're also going over Nightmare Incursion highlights, but there's a specific thing in the article that I noticed that I want to talk to you guys about today. So that's about it. Editor, get to the video, because it's time to discuss. I swear I'm gonna beat your fucking ass right now. So I noticed I didn't take a sip. I noticed I didn't drink. Why didn't you tell me I didn't drink? Chat, this is your guys' fault. This is each and everybody's fault in the fucking comments. Hydration Nation, lock it in. Hope everyone's having a good day. Yes indeed. This water is from Searing Gorge. How did you guys get this water? Indeed, high quality. Indeed. So, for the video, good job, editor. Good transition. Is pre-raid gear necessary for Phase 3 Season of Discovery? And I actually been talking about this. I've been saying in the other day, one of my videos, my brain's fried, guys. I've been so tired lately. Just trying to work on my sleep, and running around doing IRL things and shit. But overall, I said that, a lot of Nomer gear is going to be used this phase. And there's no reason to sleep on Nomer gear whatsoever. I think a lot of the gear that you made and a lot of gear that you acquired or still trying to acquire to do those Nomer runs, it's going to be easier to go into those Nomer runs, especially when you get to the higher level 40s, midway 40s even, even then. And you're going to be just nuking shit. But overall, yeah, I really think a lot of Nomer gear is really good. And let's read the article. We'll talk about a couple things here and go from there. So, lots of players are in the habit of getting pre-raid best in slot gear before stepping foot into endgame content. And while that may be a requirement for some guilds, it really isn't necessary in SOD. These raids are not designed to be gear checks, and outgearing them significantly would just lead to burnout earlier, which I 100% agree, Wowhead. By the way, play the fucking game at your pace. Don't worry about sweatboards and parsing, even though obviously we parse in my guild. It's a thing we do, it's a part of the culture. However, play the game at your pace, enjoy the game, have fun. Don't listen to anybody else. Not even in my comment section. If you see anyone talking shit, do you. Have fun. Continue. Is Nomer Gone gear good enough for Phase 3 rating? If the transition from Phase 1 to Phase 2 is anything to go by, having a full set of Phase 2 BIS, basically best in slot gear, will likely be overkill for early Phase 3 rating. While the new items are absolutely upgrades, the overall power level, when fully geared, will likely not be as insane as the difference between, let's say, Molten Core Raider to AQ Raider. So, for example, a mage upgrading their electromagnetic hyperflux reactivator, which I don't believe a lot of mages went for this particular item, or maybe they did actually. No, I think they did. They went for this. This is actually their best in slot. Forgive me. Yes, this is actually their best in slot in Phase 2. Going for this specific helm. Or no, it's not their best in slot. They went for the didn't they go for the epic helm? The epic helm with the pink eye. Yes, that's what they went for. So a lot of more mages were going for the pink eye epic helm rather than this. But I think this is just their example that they're using. However, Mage upgrading their electromagnetic hyperflux reactivator into the Visage of Exiled will only gain 5 intellect, 3 spirit, and 5 spell power, and 1% hit. Obviously a noticeable difference, but not make or break. After seeing the re-itemized dungeon items, which we went over, right? They are mostly on par with Nomergon items for most slots, supplemented with some quest items found with leveling, or dungeon items for the leveling the way you're unlikely need to grind any gear before stepping in foot into Phase 3 raiding. So overall, I guess basically what they're trying to get at is that, yeah, come this phase, it's going to be very fun, exploring the new incursions, going and getting, different pieces of loot, but there's not an in dire, desperate need to think that everything you got from Nomer is completely 100% replaceable. There are going to be some items that you can replace for sure, but there's going to be some items that are going to be pretty solid, like the epic ring, the epic trinket. This is stuff from Nomer. The Drape of Dismantling, which I went over before as well. The crafted epics from the professions that you were doing. Some of those items will still be very good and very useful. And a couple of other items just in general. Obviously, Crowd Pummeler being a very big one. That's very controversial amongst, the Paladin community right now. Since, Druids will get a better option. And Paladins, obviously we are kind of in the midst of where we're going to be, what we're going to do. However, we'll see what happens overall. I know people in the comment section in the last video were talking about, hey, we might be all right. Things might look good for us, or shotguns might look good. But I understand you guys. I totally get you. But we'll see what happens as we go through this phase. Experimentation is about to begin. So let's continue on. Should I focus on PvP gear before level 50? While you absolutely can put the effort in to make sure you get upgraded Blood Moon pieces before you step foot in overhauled Sunken Temple for the first time, do you really need to is the question. Looking at the data mine items leaves us with a lot of items that are barely upgrades over their original versions. The difference between Band of the Boiled Blood and for Phase 3 and Ember Blood Seal from Phase 2 is a whopping 1 fire spell damage. That is really bad. And I think I was talking with my Warlock buddies and caster friends overall in my guild. They weren't impressed about these rings, and I'm not impressed for it either. I actually think they should have given him a wand or something, like a better wand or a better offhand, something to go after rather than just rings. I mean, if anything, there could have been, maybe there's better options in raid, but give them something better than just these dumbass rings. I mean, the rings are cool, don't get me wrong, but at least add more damage to it, if anything. Or maybe they're going to scale better in this phase, who knows. I don't know the 100% truth to it. At the cost of 2 intellect, overall, so at the cost of losing 2 intellect from going from 6 intellect. On the other hand, the difference between weapons could be more significant. Upgrading from the Sanguine Crusher to the Parasomnia, which is obviously the blade we were talking about, is more than a 10 DPS increase. Even when compared to the Thermoplug Rocket Cleaver, the DPS gain is basically insignificant, is what they're getting at. We also have new PvP sets. But as promised, these are itemized towards PvP more than PvE. Swapping your Electromantic Chain Shirt for Stone Guard's Pulsing Breastplate trades 4 spell power and 1 intellect for 1% spell crit. Potentially an improvement, but only barely, and that is only if you don't care about your set bonuses. That being said, you would likely have to rank up even to get these, so you might just be out of luck to begin with. So overall, I guess what they're saying is that, like, this PvP gear is good for a specific thing to do, which obviously PvP, which I kind of like that, having that set in my bag. When I want to do PvP, I would switch to this if I don't have other better pieces, maybe from raid in general. But overall, I like the fact that it's meant for a specific thing. You can use it in PvE as well, but overall, you don't need to stress getting this gear is basically what they're getting at, which is, obviously a lot of people right now, like, we are just running around and just getting a whole bunch of tokens and using those commendations because we're trying to get through it as fast as we can. And that's just, the way people play. I'm not going to hate you for how you play the game. You play the game however you want. Who's to tell you how you should play? Overall, I mean, I think it's a good thing that they're basically saying that it's not an overall desperate situation. If you're missing out, you could still always have time to get this. And let's finally go into the last part. Quest rewards to look out on the way for 50. On the way for 50, or right as you hit 50, there are plenty of strong items available from quests that you can do before entering your first raid, with some items like the Thrash Blade, which is actually going to be nuts because there's a chance I'm gonna have to go for this weapon. 2.70 with a chance of extra hit on your next swing. I think this sword right here, if that's the truth, and we're gonna have to do one-handed swords play for paladins for Seal of Martyrdom, I'm going for that fucking thing. You best believe it. Will require you to do a level 50 dungeon, and there's still a handful of available outside, or sorry, a handful available outside of dungeons, like items like the Vest of the Den Watcher, which is pretty nuts. 20 agility, 12 stam, are great for characters looking to fill in slot and easy accessible open world questing. Other items like the Rune of the Guard Captain, wow, that's pretty nuts, were one of the best options even at level 60 originally, and then are likely going to be powerhouses for fresh level 50s. Additionally, we have more trinkets than ever before, some niche trinkets like the Loofah, I remember this one, removes one blood effect, and Linking's Boomerang, and might find a new life they otherwise wouldn't. And this is nice, a magical boomerang towards the target for 187 damage. Chance to stun or disarm him, 3-minute cooldown, pretty solid. An awesome little PvP trinket, to be honest. For a list of full quest rewards, yada, they go into the the section of quest rewards. So I think it's pretty cool that there's some, a lot of cool quest rewards to go and look into come phase 3. It's gonna be very exciting, very fun to, revisit a lot of old areas and go to new areas and test everything out. Over here, I'm gonna put these links in the description below for you guys to check out, but it's basically a bunch of reward items that you guys can go after, make some notes, a little, Google Doc sheet, a little Google spreadsheet, maybe some, you better get it to the right fucking camera next time. I'm gonna speak to the editor, you best believe that. I'll spit on them right now. However, a little spreadsheet, yeah, you best lock it in. However, definitely pretty cool that they have a list to talk about and go over with a lot of cool and unique items that we get to experiment with and check out for sure. And there's a lot of cool stuff here on this list, so I will put this in the description below for you guys to look forward and look through to see what is the items you are trying to chase after overall. They even show you dungeon based items within this list and class quest rewards, which is actually really cool for each specific class to see what you are trying to basically go over. So I will put that in the description below, and then I will also put this below. Well, basically it's just a little guide of where to find the best quest rewards as well. So I will put these down below with the list of accessible dungeons that you're also going to be able to enter come phase 3 as far as Mardon, Zul'Farrak, and BRD. Now I assume as well, since we're going to be able to do BRD, I think a lot of people are going to be doing Arena to, especially, the Warriors and Paladins, and just, male plate wearers in general. We're going to be trying going for that Savage Gladiator chain. It's going to be a motherfucking nightmare. Let's get the camera a little lower. It's going to be a motherfucking nightmare. Editor, if that camera's not lower next time, sweet chin music right over the top rope. I swear, I said what I said. However, yeah, I think it's going to be fucking crazy. Hopefully, we get it in one try. But that would be nice, Blizzard. So, Agrin, maybe bless the Paladin loot pool at Tello at Hello J Teller. Lock it in! I said Teller. Tello. I'm going to have a hernia. However, yeah, that would be nice. SGC, for sure, real fast. As far as dual talent spec, trainer location, combats and bugs are, geez, can't even speak right now. There is a combat bug going on right now, from what I've heard of, that if basically if you're trying to go to the quest and you get into a PvP situation, you can lose 50 gold. So I don't know what's going on with that. I'm a little nervous about that. However, yes, you could get the dual talent specialization from Grendog Brightbeard, but be careful with doing this. You can get this over here in, I believe, Teneris, but I think there's another location you should be able to get this to as well. I think you could get it in Ironforge from what I heard. If that is correct. But if not, you can leave comments below. Let your boy know. But be careful is what I'm saying. I don't want you guys losing fucking 50 gold. That's a lot of money. Unless you got a credit card. Hit your boy up. Tello Rep. We'll take your gold for sure. And that's the end of the video. Anywho, lock it in. Never mind. I don't want it. Settle down. But yes, let's talk about Nightmare Incursion highlights. It's a blue post actually by Blizzard. So we're going to read it. And they're going to introduce a couple things what we're going to see here. So, time to read. Tello, lock it in. You're not Floyd Mayweather. You can read. You can read. However, greetings. As we approach the release of Phase 3 of SOD, we wanted to take a quick moment to talk about the new Nightmare Incursion feature and set few expectations around how this will function. This is quite unlike anything we've done thus far in SOD, and in order to prepare you for what you'll face, we wanted to provide a short premiere, basically to help prepare you for your first few incursions. So what are Nightmare Incursions? Nightmare Incursions are new outdoor content that is predominantly PvE focused, though PvP will occur on a PvP server in these, which I am excited about. You'll start each incursion with a quest that you get a new field captain NPC outside of each dream portal located in Duskwood, Ashenvale, Feralis, and Hinterlands. This quest will have you taking on the new demon creatures that have taken up residence just outside the dream portals in each zone. Once you've neutralized a number of these threats and made contact with an agent of the Emerald Wardens near the dream portal, you may return to the field captain to hand in the starter quest, and you will be given a satchel with randomized mission that will take you to basically into the nearby portal to start the incursion, one could say, to perform a task. Now, upon interacting with the portal, you'll be transported into the dream to start your missions. These missions could be a number of things, from missions to slay targets, gather resources, or even defeat a very powerful boss. This content is very old school in nature as well, and is quite unlike more modern daily quest systems you've likely encountered in more contemporary versions of World of Warcraft. If you ever done Cenarian Whole Field Duty missions like in Sithilus that arrived with patch 1.9 in OG WoW, you'll notice that some parallels and similarities when doing Nightmare Incursions. SOD is a version of classic WoW and went into the content to feel right at home with other repeatable content available in the OG version of the game. So what level do I need to be to participate in Nightmare Incursions? So Nightmare Incursions are separated out by level, with Duskwood predominantly level 25 content, Ashenvale being level 40 content, which I actually really like that we get to revisit Ashenvale, by the way. I think that's a good change because they actually did something we're going to talk about in a second. And Feralis and the Hinterlands being level 50 content, which is nice. What should I do to prepare for these type of incursions? So, the Nightmare Incursions missions are flagged as elite quests, and while you can complete some of them solo, others will be very challenging to complete alone. Due to the randomized nature of the missions you are given as well, it's possible to get a group-based mission while playing solo, or gathering-based missions that may require the usage of herbalism, skinning, or mining to complete. Very interesting. Therefore, it is a recommendation that when planning to tackle this content, you form a 3 to 5 player group to do so. This way, each member of the group hands in the initial quest, and each member gets their own randomized mission, all of which are shareable up to the 4 other players. You have a variety of activities to tackle during the incursion. Grouping will likely most be the efficient way to gain reputation or experience as well, as you can knock out multiple missions in a single trip, rather than needing to returning to the waking world in between missions. There's a lot more to discover about Nightmare Incursions, so we want you to venture into this content yourself to find out more. We did feel that due to the nature of this content, however, it made sense to get at least some information in your hands to prepare you for when Nightmare Incursions go live later this week. In case you wanted to coordinate grouping with your friends, basically, that's what they're basically ending at. Keep reading, don't piss me off. However, thanks for taking the time today to go over this with the premiere of the Nightmare Incursions. I'm ready to look forward to it. Yada, yada, yada on April 4th. Unbelievable. Good post, though. I like the fact that they're not revealing too much, but keep it at that. Let's see and explore for ourselves how badass these are going to be. It's this better way than just staying in fucking dungeons all day and, brain rotting in ZF and, having to, spam hours on end doing dungeons. Overall, I hope this is really good XP and it's a fun time to play and group with friends, getting people out in the open world. This is what I really wanted when I was talking about this stuff all the way even back in phase 1. When I was like, the best thing about WoW is the open world itself and revisiting areas that we left, and I really like, the fact that we are going to be going back to Ashenvale, back to places like Duskwood, especially if you're doing stuff on your alts, and then also, going to Feralis and the Hinterlands is going to be dope for level 50 content. Now, finally, this is the final thing on the list. Basically, some patch notes that they made overall for the Temple of, the Sunken Temple raid, class changes that they talked about. But one particular thing that I actually want to dive deeper into is something, none of this, because this is more stuff that they are going over. I know Shaman's got some big adjustments, to the Rockbiter weapon. Lava Lash and Loyal Beta have been made to further incentivize the usage of Wind Fury weapon and Flame Tongue weapon when dealing damage. So Shaman's high attack power numbers are basically being, it seems to be nerfed. So I think it's a good thing, because at the end of the day, Shamans right now, we all know it, are the best class in fucking SOD. It's just the truth, and I think they need to be toned out just a little bit so they can, we can all find a good medium of all our classes overall. But much respect to the Shaman community, all right? No hate to you. But overall, what did I want to talk about? I wanted to dig into this. Let's see. Oh yeah, no more gone professions. So the recipe sold by Ziri the Wrench Little Sprocket after players complete the quest salvaging the salvage-o-matic have been significantly reduced in price, which is really nice. And also, an additional teleporter has been added to the base of the pillar where Worldle Wonder Gear resides in Foralis to allow players who fall off or evicted by the security team to get back up without needing to travel all the way back to fucking Booty Bay. Very nice of you, Blizzard. Much love to you. I like that one. I think that's dope. Also, for the Blood Moon thing, existing Bloodstain combination items have been removed from the Mazin vendors list. These combinations have been replaced with a new version, so they did remove this, alright? So this is confirmed, straight from the source, that there's a new version of the Bloodstain combination that's purchasable with the new Massacre coin, currency that will be available for players level 48 and above. Please note there are any existing Bloodstain combinations that you have in their inventory. When the patch is released, will now have a 2-week real-world duration and will expire after that time and disappear from your inventory. Please use these coins before Tuesday, April 16th. So you have time to use these coins, guys. You have time. Somebody was saying in one of the discords you have to use it when the patch goes out or when it happens on the 4th. You have to the 16th to use these coins. That is 100% the facts. Additional rewards have been added to my Zin, available at level 50 using the new Massacre coin currency. This is the thing I wanted to talk about the most because I'm very fucking happy they did this. The quests repelling invaders and clear the forest may now completed daily instead of weekly. Daily instead of weekly. Do you know how big of a deal that is? You can fucking basically get to Revered and Exalted in a matter of a couple weeks with your alts. Like, that is fucking awesome. And that gives people an opportunity who don't like Warsong Gulch, because obviously, let's be honest, nobody wants to sit in a 3-hour fucking Warsong Gulch. What's that in my hair? Get it out of here. Unbelievable. It's a little pixie dust. What is that? However, yes, it's going to be pretty cool to see people, doing stuff within Ashenvale, low levels, doing their, daily hand-ins, and keeping Ashenvale a little bit more alive. And now you have the fact that Incursions are there. This is just really nice stuff. I like that, we're keeping the content, nice. We're keeping it where people can come back and not just leave Ashenvale totally. So I think this is a good change. People can level up their alts and go for their gear, and now it's not so much of a big ordeal. Now, don't get me wrong. I know there's the OG heads who are like, well, brother, back in my day, you had to work for it, and I have 9 alts, and I did it all OG. I earned my right. It's like, bro, settle the fuck down, alright? I get it, you earned your right. Calm it down, amigo. No one's taking that away from you. Good for you. But let's not say that was fucking a shitty way of going about it. This is cool that they're doing that for people's alts where they don't want to stay in Warsong Gulch for 3 fucking hours with no timer in WSG. If you actually are a PvPer, which I'm a fucking PvPer as well, staying in Warsong with no timer is absolute fucking dog shit, and you know this. So, even if they didn't add this, at least put a fucking timer in the game mode, So this way people can get in there over and over, or increase the rep you get from your marks or something. Because doing that on, let's say, 9, 10 other ults, you have to have complete brain rot, amigo. And that's just me keeping it a $150 with you. Don't piss me off. However, overall though, any other notable things here that the Warsong Gulch and Arathi Basement marks from 30 to 59 level ranges are no longer granting experience inside, which is fine. They talked about, a couple of necklaces that won't grant experiences, like the Wasteland Water Pouches or the Troll necklaces no longer grants experience inside for both these quests. And overall, they talked about level 50 class quests from Song of Temple now grants players all their loot options rather than choice options, which I think that is really cool. So you get a little bit more flexibility of loot. And then obviously some dungeon updates, the PvP honor system that they're going over on like how, you can get your gear from your respectable vendors in your areas. And then also here, this is where the dual talent stuff was. So I said mentioned in the comments below before, but I think this is here. Players will be able to seek out the dwarf, the Dwarven Explorer, who can teach them to learn the second talent specialization. Players can find him in Ironforge or in Ogremar now. Very nice stuff. Very awesome. Love it. However, ladies and gentlemen, if this button doesn't work, I think I'm going to throw the fucking keyboard. However, good job, editor. Much love to you. Good job as always. W video. Pretty good video. I'd say it's pretty solid. I appreciate you guys coming as always. I really care about everybody. And you guys have been alright lately.
But you best believe a high alert video is coming out soon. It's been a minute since we did a high alert video, and we're talking to you guys. No World of Warcraft nonsense, no sod stuff, nothing. Just you and me in a room, and I'm whipping out the schmeat. Settle down in Minecraft. Don't ban me, YouTube, please. However, lock it in. This water bottle is empty. Lock it in. Much love to you as always. You know I'm joking, okay? Or maybe I'm not. All right. All right. Yeah, come on now. Come on now. I'm looking like Robert De Niro. I'm going to spit on you. Get out my video. Keep on keeping on. And as always, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.